What are the 9 basic steps to become an expert marketer and therefore a top biller? Question mark. 1. Develop an eye for identifying talent and skills that are in demand. 2. Interview your candidate, explain the marketing service, obtain their permission and commit with a project time table to your candidate. 3. Marketing preparation planning, schedule your priorities. Quadrant 2. Activities, plan and prepare your resource list and marketing script. 4. Learn, practice and action your rebuttals. 5. Just do it. Make those calls and market your candidate. 6. Prepare your candidate well for marketing interviews. 7. Practice targeted marketing regularly. 8. Measure your performance and success, statistics and the most important step to become a top biller. Step 9 is to practice, practice, practice and perfect these basic marketing steps. If you want to be extremely great at marketing, or anything for that matter, then execute these basic principles better than anybody else. Before we delve into the basic marketing steps, we first need to understand the non-advertised market in order to take advantage and tap into this market.
The non-advertised market. Understanding the non-advertised market. The job market. It is generally accepted that around 60 to 70% of all jobs are in the non-advertised market. At a more executive level, it is closer to 80%. ABS, Australian Bureau of Statistics, figures indicate that 76% of managers and professionals gaining employment do so with jobs from the non-advertised market. This figure does not include those jobs filled by internal moves, so we would suggest a more accurate figure is that more than 80% of potential jobs are in fact non-advertised. The non-advertised market are not rows and rows of empty desks and chairs waiting for new occupants. The term, the non-advertised market, actually refers to that significant portion of the total market where change has not yet resulted in a need for a new job or person. The role may only be a glint in the eye of a key decision maker who feels a change coming on or is grappling with a problem. The solution may well be in the form of a person they have yet to meet or hear about. Positions born out of the non-advertised market are likely to come from a range of needs, including badly performing companies, or those not performing in accordance with perceived guidelines where a new key manager or professional could make a difference. Growth in business size, product, service range or organizational development resulting in the need for new positions. A new senior manager has been retained and natural selection is in progress. They need or want a new team. Backfilling for promotions, transfers, resignations etc. when succession planning is not appropriate or expected. Staff increases have been forecasted but were not actioned because of funding problems or lack of an appropriate person to meet the need. Companies faced with a changing industry or competitors requiring a staff change and/or increase to meet technology, procedure or service needs. A scenario where an individual appears to offer significant future value and an interim position is created to secure that person. Visible positions are readily identifiable through the proactivity of organizations seeking to fill them. But this puts you, the candidate and the employment agent, in a reactive situation. Visible positions are found in the national and local press, other media, the internet and with employment agencies. Jobs in this category can also be partly visible as they are internal vacancies not normally advertised to the public at large. In such cases, an impressive and appropriate external candidate may gain an opportunity through extending their search to that area and becoming visible as the vacancy materializes. In the non-advertised market, often only 1 or 2 people know of the potential or can be moved to see the potential of an external candidate. In any event, it is unlikely to be someone in the corporate HR department. The point is that the non-advertised market must be accessed at the highest level possible and/or the relevant professional area where a key decision maker is found. Where a job's sourced. Before further discussion, it is important to understand the breakup of the total market and how jobs are sourced successfully. The market can be likened to an iceberg. Only 20 to 30% of its mass protrudes above the waterline, the visible market. The remaining 70 to 80% is out of sight and spreads further than is obvious, the non-advertised market. What is really important, however, is that 70 to 80% of job seekers only target the visible market, the tip of the iceberg. In any case, they are unaware to varying degrees of the nature of the non-advertised market but are unable or unwilling to pursue these options. Any success they may enjoy in the non-advertised market is accidental. This leaves about 20 to 30% of job seekers actively and effectively seeking to penetrate the non-advertised market, the iceberg's bulk. Job search techniques. Job search strategies are divided between the reactive and the proactive. The reactive approach can only source up to 30% of the potential market, but a proactive strategy, the candidate marketing strategy, can source up to 100% with a minimal wasted effort when followed systematically and effectively. A reactive strategy can often yield good results. A reactive strategy includes responding to advertising, company direct, agency and blind, registration with agencies and internet responses. Advantages of such a strategy include, the need and requirement is actually known and apparent and a response can be specifically tailored. It is in the comfort zone brought about by our conditioning over the nature of the employment market. It provides choice. The potential employer is often readily identifiable. The potential earnings may be apparent. The proactive strategy, encompassing appropriate effort expended in proportion to the success rates, has the advantages of the reactive strategy in those areas with the following additional benefits. Opportunity to target the most appropriate area to meet objectives and needs. Minimal competition. No intermediaries. Self-defining. Marketing edge, as you can be seen differently. A larger market. There may be no immediate imperative to hire, therefore you can control the timing to an extent. Latency, meaning, the state of existing but not yet being developed or manifest. Concealment. Like people everywhere, employers tend to react to urgent issues. A problem may be known to exist but be left to be dealt with under normal procedures, although it could be solved by organizational change. Ultimately, this may translate into a staff change involving advertising, agencies, screening and associated hiring procedures, along with considerable time and expense. Hence there is a latency period when the impetus to hire is developing, and if a solution presents itself in the form of an appropriate person, hiring may well proceed with minimal fuss. We are conditioned to use a reactive strategy because we are educated to respond to advertisements by schooling and media influences, and it feels easy and safe. For the print media, job advertising revenue is a significant part of their earnings. Agencies like clients to advertise at client expense as it promotes the agency. Many hiring procedures officially require an open system. Registrations with agencies is often seen as being proactive as they are believed to be willing to work to find you a job, an incorrect hypothesis due to how they operate and are remunerated. Recent growth in internet usage has seen an explosion of job sites. Much of this is generating revenue for the service providers, the job sites and print media, as it is fast becoming necessary for agencies to advertise in all the major ones. The competition is not diminished, if anything it has expanded. The myth of the headhunter. The reality is that true search firms only operate at the top end of the market. If you are a likely candidate for them, they probably know of you already. They are not particularly receptive to being unsolicited approached. On the other hand, if you are of sufficient seniority and caliber and know that your sector, target market uses executive search firms, an approach may be worthwhile. Advertising and proactivity. Regular perusal of the jobs and employment sections of the major papers including classifieds, you will be able to gain an idea of who may be hiring, relocating, expanding, changing direction etc., which can give you some intelligence on where other positions could open up. Supplement this with ongoing reading of business journals and relevant sections of the newspapers. Work directly with an employment agency that is motivated to work with you and are willing to invest 100% on your behalf in the non-advertised market, as you are a high-caliber professional that falls within the top 10 to 20% of your professional group.
1. Develop an eye for identifying talent and skills that are in demand. Identify the candidate that you would like to market and make sure that they qualify as a marketing candidate. That they fall into the top 10 or 20% of their professional group. The 4 selection criteria in identifying the right candidate to market. Criteria 1. You are passionate, excited about this candidate. You have a high level of motivation to market this candidate, which will provide you with the determination and persistence to follow through. Criteria 2, the candidate is an achiever, with measurable achievements, well-developed skills in specific disciplines. Ideally with skills that are in high demand. A walking talking placement. Criteria 3, your candidate is motivated to move for the right career. They know what their career objectives are. You have screened them well. You have dug deep with your questioning technique. What else? You have asked for specifics and clarity. You understand what their hot buttons are and the root cause of their motivation to move. If they have any other job offers in the pipeline, you are aware of this and are still motivated to invest your time in marketing this candidate. As you are convinced that if you get them in front of the right decision maker, you will place them. You are aware where they have interviewed in the last 3 to 6 months, and to which companies the CVs have been presented to. Criteria 4, your candidate's career objectives are realistic and in line with what the industry is paying. Basic step number 2, to become an expert marketer and a top biller. 2, interview your candidate to affirm your decision-making process in that they do actually qualify as a candidate that you would like to market.
The interview role play. Peter, hi. Thank you for taking time out to meet with me today. I have allocated 40 minutes for our interview. I am going to briefly outline the structure of our interview. I will be asking you 4 main questions, which are my objectives that I would like to achieve in today's session. You are welcome to answer these 4 questions in any order of preference. Once all the questions have been answered, then I will answer any questions that you have for me. Then before we conclude the interview, there will be 5 requests that I will be asking of you. To note that you will be doing most of the talking, and I will be doing the listening and taking of notes. I may interrupt when you are talking to ask you to expand on some areas or request that you move on to the next point, so as to ensure that we stay to our 40-minute interview time slot. Before we start, do you have any pressing questions that you would like to get out of the way? What are the objectives that you would like to achieve in this interview? My objectives are the 4 main questions, each with their sub-questions, which are: Question 1, I would like you to walk me through your career progression, from the beginning of your career to your current role. As you walk me through your career, highlight your major achievements and the reason for leaving each company. Question 2, where are you now in your career, and where would you like to be in the next 5 or 10 years from now? What is your career objective, the next step in your career? State both the function that you want to fulfill and the level of responsibility you want to assume. What is your ideal position? In other words, what would you like to be responsible for on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? If I were able to wave a magic wand and create your ideal position and responsibilities, what exactly would your ideal position look like? Question 3, what have you done so far in your search for a new position? Which recruitment companies and client companies have you already approached directly or interviewed with? Where has your CV been in the last 3 to 6 months? It is important that we do not duplicate, and that your CV does not land on the desk of a company from 2 or 3 different recruitment agents. If this happens, you will look desperate, and I will look unprofessional. Question 4, what is your most recent earnings, the date and percentage of your next salary increase, and what are your remuneration expectations? If we had an offer on the table for your ideal position, then what package would you accept gladly, and what package would you turn down? In other words, what would be the minimum package that you would accept for your ideal position? When would you like to start with a new company? What is your notice period? Are you on a month or a calendar notice? Peter, thank you for answering all of my questions. I have a much better understanding now of your background, experience, and where you would like to be in the future. Before I share my 5 requests that I will be asking of you, are there any questions that you have for me? My 5 requests. First request, if there are any changes from our discussion today, for example you receive a salary increase and/or a promotion, or if you are no longer looking to make a move, then you need to communicate these changes to me. Second request, when you go for an interview, it is important that you call me straight afterwards. It is crucial that I speak to you immediately after your interview. I need to speak to you before I speak to my client. The reason for this, if my client calls me before I have spoken to you, then my client may think that you are not as keen and enthusiastic about this position and opportunity as they are about you. Third request, at offer stage. When it is time to make a decision, my third request from you is that you make a decision. I have no problem with a no if you have considered all of the facts and you have made a decision that is best for you and your career, then a no is fine with me. A yes is of course great. I do, however, have a problem with a maybe. When you have all the facts and information to make a decision, then a maybe is not acceptable. The speed and decisiveness of your decision sets an example and demonstrates to your future employer your own decision-making skills, which helps sets the stage up for your success. Fourth request: are there any skeletons that you are hiding in the cupboard, anything that I may find out later in a reference? My last request, request 5. I am always looking for referrals of high-caliber professionals such as yourself that fall into the top 10 to 20% of their professional group that are open for new career opportunities. Who are the top people in the industry that you know of that are also looking to make a move? Are you able to share 1 or 2 names with me? I promise to keep your name confidential. They will not know where I got their name, unless of course, you are happy that I tell them that you referred me to them. Communication. Communication is important. You will receive regular emails from me. If it is urgent and I need to speak to you, I will call you firstly on your cell phone or direct office number. If for some reason I cannot get hold of you, I will then call the office and leave a message for you. I will only leave my first name and my cell number. If we did not take our candidates' confidentiality seriously, then we would not be in business today. Maintaining your confidentiality is my priority. Every time I communicate with you on the phone, I will always make sure that you can speak freely first, before I tell you the reason for my call. Peter, thank you for your time. I enjoyed our meeting, and I am honored to be representing you to industry. Please remember to keep me informed of any changes. If you have not heard from me, then it is because I have nothing important to share with you. If I were to contact all of my candidates on a regular basis just to stay in touch, then I would have no time to proactively source new opportunities. It is therefore important that you keep in regular touch with me.
Once you have confirmed in your own mind that this is indeed a candidate that you would like to market, then tell your candidate of your intention that you would like to market them. Explain our marketing process, explain the confidentiality. Obtain their permission, work out a marketing project timetable together with the candidate. Confirm the companies and industry that they would like to work for, the navigation resource map. Ask for 2 to 4 weeks exclusivity. Make sure that you have some good content for the marketing script. To assist you with the above, you could ask them to write a short description of what you do and what makes you unique. Identify your target, who needs your services. Include anyone who doesn't yet know they need your talents. How would companies benefit from what you do? What are the emerging trends in your target market, as you presently see it? How can you present yourself as a solution to an organization's challenges? Basic step number 3, to become an expert marketer and a top biller. 3, marketing preparation planning, schedule your priorities. Quadrant 2 activities, plan, diarize and prepare your resource list and marketing script. 8. Resource list, navigation map, work with Majestic and LinkedIn to do research of the industry that your candidate is working in, the industry and discipline where they have well-developed skills. Which companies are the major players in this industry and who are the competitors? List the company names and the key decision makers of the companies that you have identified from your industry research. Once you have finalized your list, ask your candidate to rate the company list in order of their own company preference to work for. If it is a specialized and therefore very small industry, then you may also want to double-check with your candidate if any of the names of the company decision-makers on the list know of them personally. If your candidate is well known in the industry, then often the client will give you an interview time as soon as they know who your candidate is. B. How to prepare your candidate's marketing script. Your marketing script must be a short description of what your candidate does and what makes them a top achiever, unique. Your marketing script. Introduction, provide a brief introduction and the reason for your call. Example, good morning, this is Karen Darley from Enshrine Placements, specialist in technical and engineering recruitment. Then you say, I don't want to waste your time, so I will get straight to the point. I am currently setting up exploratory interviews for my lead mechanical engineer. Use the business title of your candidate, rather than the word candidate. This sentence, I don't want to waste your time, so I will get straight to the point. This sentence works. Use it. Clients will listen to you, because you have acknowledged that you respect their time, and therefore they will respect your time. Important. Do not ask, how are you? Unless you know the person and they have recognized you. The question, "How are you?" is used for switchboard operators, receptionists only. When you start talking, do not pause or take a breath, say your script as quickly as possible, with as much clarity, and then close with a question to ask for an interview. Ideally learn your script so that you do not have to read it. Body. The body of your script can include the following information: your candidate's qualifications, their discipline, current and previous industry experience, their years of experience and achievements. Presenting experiences in the best and most positive light that will compel your listeners to hang on to every word. Giving achievement examples that include increases or savings in terms of rands, percentages, or staffing. Select from the high-impact terms listed below to assist in documenting your success: time savings, cost savings, process streamlining, staff efficiencies, revenue generated, performance improvements, candidates' income. For high-level candidates only, service improvements. Compile statements beginning with such words as increased, renewed, re-engineered, built, avoided, lowered, created, grew, reinvigorated, pioneered, enhanced, led, compiles, designed, established, developed, rewrote. Ask your candidate to compile a list of their most significant career achievements to include what they did and how they made it happen, how they did it, and the difference it made. These are your selling points to the listener. So make it count, and they must be measurable. This exercise will also help your candidate to develop skills to confidently present themselves at an interview, even at a moment's notice, a compelling story that will causes them to be remembered. Make sure that your marketing script is short and descriptive, with enough information for the listener to be able to make a decision if your candidate could be of value to their organization. Conclusion. Your conclusion is to close on an interview with a question. My candidate will be in Johannesburg next week, Thursday and Friday. Are you available then to meet with him? Or, how does your diary look like on Friday next week to meet with my candidate? 2 marketing script example role plays point.
Hi, this is Karen Darley from Enshrine Placements. I don't want to waste your time, so I will get straight to the point. I am a headhunter, specializing in technical and engineering recruitment. I am currently setting up exploratory interviews for my candidate, an applications sales engineer, a specialist in communication sales, both in direct sales and product management, providing customer support, marketing and training of products. His minerals experience includes copper, gold, silver, solvent extraction and hydrometallurgy. He has a higher national diploma in extractive metallurgy, qualified in the mines, started his learnership with gold and then moved into projects for a leading minerals equipment supplier, where he ran a number of projects in East and West Africa. He moved into application sales 4 years ago. His passion and talent is in sales. For 3 years running, he exceeded his annual sales target of 50 million, and has been the top performing application sales engineer for the company for the last 2 years. He is great at bringing in new business. I am currently arranging interviews for him in the industry. Are you available on Thursday to meet with him? Marketing script example 2. Hi, Karen Darley from Enshrine Placements, technical and engineering recruitment. I don't want to waste your time, so I will get straight to the point. I am currently representing a high-performing executive and future CEO, female employment equity, with vast multidisciplinary knowledge to lead diverse technical construction, engineering and support service teams in project controls and project management. She has led site project teams with a combined budget in excess of 20 billion and the overall P&L responsibility. A seasoned and dynamic executive with a proven track record of turning around projects and improving performance in teams she leads. 20 years working experience, 14 of which are in senior management and executive roles. She has a degree in chemistry and an MBA. Highly respected in her industry, her niche is in leading multidisciplinary teams in the power industry to deliver shareholder value. She has taken leave on Friday the 21st of April for interviews. For the moment I only have one interview time slot available in the afternoon at 2 p.m. Are you available to meet with her?
1. Ideally do not read your marketing script, learn it. 2. Always conclude your marketing script, candidate description with a closing question. A person will naturally answer a question if asked. 3. Prepare to ask the listener a minimum of 3 times for an interview with your candidates. In sales, the rule of thumb is that the third close should result in a sale, in this case a send out for your candidate. 4. Listen to what the speaker is saying, and acknowledge what the speaker has said before you go in and rebut and close for a send out. Show compassion and understanding and be determined. Have your end goal in mind and see it. 5. In your candidate's marketing description, be specific and factual, no time for time wasters. An example of a sentence that is a time waster: this is a dynamic candidate that enjoys working in a team environment and independently and is very passionate about his job. 6. Do not pause or take a breath during your marketing script, in other words, get through your candidate's description as fast as possible. 7. Ensure that you have your candidate's CV open in front of you, and that you have studied the CV and are prepared for questions that your client may ask for. 8. Keep your candidate's name confidential until you have confirmed a send-out date and time. 9. Prepare additional information about your candidate, in addition to your marketing script, which you will need to share with the listener in order to close them on a send-out, to meet with your candidate. For example, if a project manager, then share the project names, location, and value. Walk through your candidate's career progression from the CV. Include company names and business titles that they held. If you have completed any references, then you can quote what the referee said. That speaks of your candidate's credibility. If you can do a reference before you market, I would encourage it. Although taking of a reference is time-consuming and you may jeopardize losing your candidate to a previous employer. 10. Tailor your marketing script to the decision-makers that you will be communicating to. Example: a sales director and financial director will be motivated by different facts. 11. Once your client has agreed to meet with your candidate, then you can advise them of your candidate's name and where they are currently working. Leave your contact details and name with the client, in case your client needs to get hold of you, and then forward an email to them with your candidate's CV confirmation of the interview date, and importantly the attachment and reference to our fee structure, guarantee and terms. Also advise your client that you will make contact with them again, after they have interviewed your candidate, unless there is a need to speak to you before then. 12. Make sure you leave your contact details with the client, whether you closed for a send-out or not. Very important to remember to include it in your email to the client our fee structure, guarantee and terms when forwarding your candidate's CV. By attaching our fees, our client is obligated by the contract to pay our fees should they employ your candidate. The fee contract states, the appointment of a candidate that is introduced by Enshrine Placements will be an acceptance of our fee structure, guarantee and terms. No need to mention what our fees are in the marketing call, as long as you attach them to your email to the client. The client will call you once they have received our fee agreement if they want to negotiate or if they have any questions regarding our terms. 13. Make sure all new client contacts are added to Majestic. 14. Don't stop marketing when you get a send-out, finish your calls on your marketing list first. This way you will stay in your flow and build further momentum. 15. Once you have made all of your marketing calls on your list, then you can call your candidate with the good news. 16. Celebrate and remember to update your candidate's sales funnel to send out exploratory. If you have more than one send out for your candidate, then rather send 3 different interview confirmation emails to your candidate, forward them an itinerary with all the information of all send outs. 17. Do not be stifled to market because you are afraid of rejection. Look at the benefits and financial rewards of successful marketing. 18. Content below is an example of an email marketing confirmation to your client. Dear John, Peter Jones is confirmed to meet with you on an exploratory interview basis on Friday the 14th of February at 9 a.m. As discussed, I attach his CV and value proposition together with our fee structure, guarantee and terms. Thank you for your interest in meeting with Peter. I will follow up with a call after your interview. Best regards, email signature with your name, surname and contact details, etc. 4. Learn, practice and action your rebuttals. Rebuttals to marketing script 1.
Send me the CV. I have his CV right here in front of me. Let me give you some more information about him. Briefly work through candidate's career progression. You can include company names, qualifications and the year that he was born. If his application is confidential, you may want to keep his current company name anonymous. Then close a second time for an interview. Are you available next week Friday to meet with my candidate? We do not have a position available and therefore I would not like to waste your candidate's time. I respect the fact that you are not recruiting at the moment and that is fine. The ideal time to meet high caliber on the move is in fact when you are not recruiting, as you are under no pressure to make a hire. Making a rush decision when under pressure, it often leads to an unsuccessful appointment which will cost you a lot in resources, time and money, and will affect your team dynamics in a negative way. My candidate is not in a rush to move. He has been briefed that the interviews that I will be arranging for him will be on an exploratory basis only. Exploratory interviews for talent on the move is extremely valuable experience for them. It builds their interviewing confidence and provides them with more direction and insight in terms of the type of position and company that they would like to work for. Are you available to meet with him next week Friday, the 17th of April? I would really like to see his CV first. With pleasure I will forward you his CV, however can I make a suggestion? Can I set up a tentative interview for next week Friday afternoon for you to meet with my candidate on an exploratory basis? I will then email you his CV. If there is anything you don't like in the CV, then make contact with me, and I will be happy to cancel the interview. If I don't hear from you, then I will take the interview as confirmed. Yes, okay. Thank you. Can I facilitate a meeting for you then at 2 p.m. on Friday the 17th of April at your offices? Yes. 2 p.m. should be fine. Super, you will be meeting with Peter Van Riet. He is working for Multotech. I will forward you his CV together with our terms and conditions and Pete's confirmation to meet with you. I would like to leave you with my cell number, so just for in case you need to get hold of me. My first name is Karen, and then my surname is Dali. My cell number is 083-653-7750. I will give you a call after your exploratory meeting with Peter, so as to provide you with some feedback on how the meeting went. Thank you for your time. Goodbye, cheers.
To marketing script example 2.
You must speak to human resources. I am not the right person to speak to. Did you have a specific position in mind that I should discuss with human resources? No, we are not recruiting at the moment. I normally only speak to human resources when there is a position available. Did you know that 76% of professionals that move because a position was initiated by a key decision maker? The role may only be a glint in the eye of a key decision maker who feels a changing coming on or is grappling with a problem. The solution may well be in the form of a person they have yet to meet or hear about. Thus the reason that I am making contact with you today and not with human resources. Are you available next week Friday at 2 p.m. to meet with my candidate? Let me see her CV first. Due to the seniority level of my candidate and the size of the industry, I have promised to keep my candidate's name anonymous. Unless a client has agreed on a confidential meeting with her, then only can I forward a CV. I do however have her CV in front of me. Let me give you some more information about her. Born in 1975, lives in Bryanston. Started her career with Eskom in 2001 as an advisor for quality management. In 2005 she was promoted to project manager for project controls and support services, which included quantity surveying, cost engineering, information technology and others. She then moved to a hands-on site project manager for a power station refurbishment, then in 2013 promoted to executive manager, or the coal refurbishment projects, a portfolio of 7 power stations with a combined budget in excess of 20 billion. In 2016 she left Eskom, as she did not appreciate the bureaucracy and was not very proud of what was happening in the organization. Currently she is a project director for a global power service provider. Her scope is engineering, procurement and construction of the works, and the overall accountable for bringing 3 legs of the EPC together, including profit and loss related to the project. Her referees have an extremely high regard for her. She has been described as a principled lady, a leader with integrity and high morals. A top performer that exceeded expectations. Results-orientated, takes on things outside of her deliverables. She sets very tough targets and ensures discipline. She takes no nonsense. She handles project meetings effectively irrespective of gender or level of seniority. She is an asset to anyone that would employ her in the technical management field. Can I make a suggestion that you meet with my candidate on an exploratory basis? If after you have met with her and you have identified that there may be a need, I would gladly then make contact with human resources. If I give them a call now, and there is no position available, my call would then only have been wasted. Do you have availability in your diary for next week Friday at 2 p.m? She has taken the full day off on Friday the 21st of April for interviews, and has been briefed that these interviews are exploratory only, that there are currently no positions available for her credentials. We only have one time slot left on Friday at 2 p.m. Can you be available on the 21st at 2 p.m. to meet with her? Yes, I can make a plan. Super, you will be meeting with XYZ. She is working for ABC Company. I will forward you her CV together with our terms and conditions. I would like to leave you with my cell number, just for in case you need to get hold of me. My first name is Karen and then my surname is Dali. My number is 083-653-7750. I will give you a call after your exploratory meeting on Friday for feedback on how the meeting went. Thank you for your time. Goodbye. Cheers.
Other rebuttals. Basic
Client rejectioner, send me the CV. Recruiter rebuttal 1. I will gladly send you his CV. I have his CV right here in front of me. Let me give you some more information about him. Recruiter rebuttal 2. With pleasure, I will forward you his CV. Can I make a suggestion? Can we set up an exploratory interview? I will then forward you my candidate's CV. If you do not like what you see in his CV, then let me know and we can always cancel the meeting. If I have not heard from you, then I will take the meeting as confirmed. Recruiter rebuttal 3a. I have promised my candidate that I will keep his name anonymous and will only share his CV and his name once a confidential interview has been confirmed. 3b. Due to the executive level of my candidate and the industry, I have promised my candidate that I will keep his name anonymous and will only share his CV and his name once a confidential interview has been confirmed. 4. With pleasure, I will send you his CV. I have his CV right here in front of me. Is there anything in particular that you would like to know about this candidate? Recruiter rebuttal 5. I will send you the CV with pleasure. What specifically will you be looking out for when you read the CV? Client rejection B. We are not recruiting at the moment, we are retrenching. Recruiter rebuttal 1. I am sorry to hear that. If you were looking for an engineering manager right now, would this be the kind of person that you would have in mind? Yes. What specifically interests you about this candidate? Recruiter rebuttal 2. I respect the fact that you are not recruiting at the moment, and that is fine. Sometimes the ideal time to interview potential candidates is when in fact you are not pressurized to make any appointments. In this way, if you were to hire my candidate now or in 6 or 8 months from now, then your decision will be based on my candidate's merit, and not because you have an urgent requirement to fill because of a resignation or recent promotion. Recruiter rebuttal 3. I was not aware that you were recruiting. Meeting candidates on an exploratory basis is good business sense, and I find that the time invested by both parties is never a waste. It is a great opportunity for you to benchmark top talent with your current team and to understand what other companies are paying for experience. For my candidate, it is great interviewing experience, and will provide him with important information that will assist him in making the right career decision. 4. I was not aware that you were recruiting. We are living in times that are experiencing massive changes with very short notice. In an ever-accelerating business landscape, building an agile strategy and an inspired leadership team that is equipped for change and ready to execute is priority. Did you know that 76% of professionals that move because a position was initiated by a key decision maker? The role may only be a glint in the eye of a key decision maker who feels a changing coming on or is grappling with a problem. The solution may well be in the form of a person they have yet to meet or hear about. 5. I am sorry to hear that, when companies are retrenching, then often the people that they cannot afford to lose resign, and they are then left with an urgent position to fill because of these unexpected resignations. For your own security, meet with my candidate on an exploratory basis. C. I am not the right person to speak. You must speak to human resources. 1. I understand that your human resource department handles recruitment. The candidate that I am representing is at an executive level and is of a highly sensitive nature that I can only speak to a decision maker. 2. Did you have a specific position in mind that I should discuss with human resources? I normally only speak to human resources when there is a position available. 3. Can I make a suggestion that you meet with my candidate on an exploratory basis? If after you have met with her and you have identified that there may be a need, I would gladly then make contact with human resources. If I give them a call now, and there is no position available, my call would then only have been wasted. 4. I will definitely speak to HR. I normally only speak to human resources when there is a position available. 75% of positions are filled because the decision maker identifies a person that can fill a need that the business has before a position is even discussed with human resources. D. We don't work with recruitment agencies. 1. That is interesting. May I ask the reason for this? 2. I would like to tell you why it is worth seeing my candidate on an exploratory basis, and Mr. Client, this does not incur a fee, unless you decided to employ my candidate. Meeting candidates on an exploratory basis is good business sense, and I find that the time invested by both parties is never a waste. It is a great opportunity for you to benchmark top talent with your current team and to understand what other companies are paying for experience. For my candidate, it is great interviewing experience, and will provide him with important information that will assist him in making the right career decision. E. Agency fees are too high. 1. I respect that you feel this way, and I understand that there are policies involved. I would like to tell you why this candidate is worth seeing on an exploratory basis, and Mr. Client, that does not incur a fee. 2. I understand that it seems expensive to work through employment agencies, however let me explain to you how we work. We work with our clients on a contingency basis. That means that you are only due a fee, should you hire one of our candidates. There is no cost involved in just interviewing our candidate, which has huge benefits of its own. I don't have a position available for your candidate and would not want to waste his time. 1. Meeting candidates on an exploratory basis is good business sense, and I find that the time invested by both parties is never a waste. It is a great opportunity for you to benchmark top talent with your current team and to understand what other companies are paying for experience. For my candidate, it is great interviewing experience, and will provide him with important information that will assist him in making the right career decision. I don't have my diary with me at the moment. 1. That's fine. Do you have a personal assistant that manages your diary? I would be happy to confirm a suitable time with them directly. 2. That's fine. My candidate only has Friday or Monday afternoon available. I understand that you don't have your diary with you at the moment, however can you recall if you have a gap on either of these afternoons that we can book tentatively? I will in the meantime forward you my candidate's CV, and then once you are in the office, you can confirm if this tentative time is in fact still available in your diary. I will be away for the next 2 weeks. 1. That is fine, we can schedule a meeting when you get back. How would the 29th look for you in the afternoon? That is 3 days after you are due back in the office. I will be overseas traveling, and then on my return I will be on leave for a month. 1. No problem. Do you have a second in command that you can trust to interview my candidate whilst you're away overseas and on leave? Additional questions to ask the client if you have not been able to close on an interview. 1. Do you know which companies in your industry that is recruiting at the moment that would be interested in my candidate? Client responds as says, yes, company ABC are recruiting. Excellent, thank you. And do you know the name of the decision maker at ABC company that I should be talking to? 2. Are there any positions we can help you with at the moment? 3. Are there any specific skills that you are always on the lookout for, that we can keep an eye open for you?
Step number 5 to become an expert marketer and a top biller. 5. Just do it. Make those calls and market your candidate. Plan and schedule 3 to 4 recruitment activities time slots in your diary. Recruitment activities can be marketing a candidate or headhunting on a job assignment, with the goal of getting 2 to 3 marketing send-outs and 2 to 4 recruits for your job assignments. And from your marketing activity also to generate 1 or 2 new job assignments to work the following week. Each week work on 2 to 3 recruitment activities, qualify as Quadrant 2 activities. If you are a candidate agent only, then you could double up on these activities. Prioritize the activities that you work on that are closest to the money. Then just do it. Take action and market. Stick with your plan, your marketing script, and be persistent with your marketing rebuttals. Have the end goal in mind with each call that you make, the end goal, a marketing send-out for your candidate. I would recommend that you partner up with a colleague, where you both aim to market your own candidates in the same time slot. This way you will support each other, and this will also help you to follow through on your plan, as you have committed to work with someone other than yourself. Basic Step 6 to become an expert marketer and a top biller. 6. Prepare your candidate well for marketing interviews. This is in addition to your normal candidate send-out interview preparation. If your candidate is going on 3 or more send-outs, then ask them to prepare a checklist table rating on the important values that they are looking for in a future employer. They then rate each company against these values, including their own employer. This will help them with their decision-making process at offer stage. Basic Step 7 to become an expert marketer and a top biller. 7. Practice targeted marketing regularly. What is targeted marketing? Targeted marketing is when you randomly only make 2 to 3 marketing calls for your candidate, usually straight after you have interviewed them. You choose not to dedicate full marketing productivity time slots for a number of reasons. Your candidate may be interviewing with 2 or 3 other positions, and you are wanting to secure one more interview to make sure that you place him. You know of 2 companies that would be interested in her skills from previous experience, so you make contact with them. Basic Step 8 to become an expert marketer and a top biller. 8. Measure your performance and success. Statistics work out your winning formulae by measuring the number of full marketing calls you make to the number of send-outs per call. 3 to 4 good exploratory marketing send-outs should equal 1 placement. Be persistent and stand your ground. Below is a winning formula. You need to make 5 full verbal marketing presentation to confirm 1 send-out. If 3 send-outs is equivalent to 1 placement, that would require you to make only 15 verbal marketing presentations, 45 rebuttals, to bill any RAND value between R. 65,000 to R 300,000 based on what your candidate is earning. 30 to 40 company and decision makers names with contact numbers, cell phone is best. 15 verbal marketing presentation calls, full marketing script, with 3 interview time closes. Rebuttals should equal 3 send-outs. Exploratory interviews confirmed, 1 placement if you have a walking talking placement, although push for 4 send-outs to ensure 1 placement. Aim to interview 5 candidates each week. And keep your eye open for that 1 special, walking talking placement that you can market to place. Marketing candidates is another way of doing client development, and an extremely effective way of bringing in new job assignments to work. If you want to be extremely great, then remember step 9: execute the basic principles better than anybody else. The primary factor is basics. Pay attention to the basics and execute the basics every single day.